Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to our AMA today. And we've got Big Bear hanging out with us today. Hey, what's going on? How you doing there, my friend?
Hey guys, what's happening?
Big Bear is kicking back in his truck with power out, so he's got to have everything tied into the car. But it's really nice to have you hanging out here with us today. Like I said earlier, we're gonna kind of make this short and sweet. The idea here is to get the word out that we're now migrating the Axion ecosystem into this mindset of being a full-fledged DAO. Like I mentioned in the Medium article, let me see if I can pull this up. It might actually start playing this video. I didn't actually say it here. I must have said it in the announcement. So in the announcement, I just said it's time for Axion to become more community engaged, more community driven, and more community led. So this is up until now, I've been kind of a caretaker, and I'm looking to step up my game and really kind of get those who've been involved in the Axion ecosystem in the past fired up and excited to start looking at the future for Axion. We're coming up on 5 years. There's not very many projects out there that can say that, and so we're looking to get people fired back up, looking to get people actively engaged in what we're doing. I mean, what we're looking to do extends beyond what we've been. And I don't want to sound like Kamala Harris. Let's get rid of the past so we can get, moving. I can't even remember what she says, but we're looking to roll out a more detailed roadmap. And this roadmap is not necessarily what it's an idea of where we could go, how we can get there, and what we could accomplish. But every aspect of this is going to go through the DAO. And we're going to be looking at this and having these conversations and discussions a little more often. So we are going to schedule a follow-up AMA probably a week from this Thursday, and we're going to be extending this DAO out a little bit longer. We've had 29 people come in, and that's great. That's actually more than we've had actively involved on Discord for quite a while. But we need a broader litmus test for what we're intending to do, and we want to see, especially as these votes come in, we want to see increased participation in each vote as we move forward. So, yeah. So other than sitting in your truck in 100-degree weather with the air conditioner on, I'm sure, I hope.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not blasting it too much because then it would interfere with the background noise. But I'm comfortable again. Finally, yeah, I lost power about 9:30 this morning and was advised that we weren't going to get it back till 5:30 this afternoon. So
wow,
it gets awfully hot and sticky in Panama when you don't have either the ceiling fans or the AC running. So I retreated to the truck. So now I can at least charge my phone up a bit and join you guys.
No, that's awesome. And you've been, I think you've been one of the longest participating members. I know Fix has been here pretty much from the beginning. Delhi.
Yeah, I bought Hex 2T on May 29th, 2000.
Wow.
Which was literally like day one. And yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride. Certainly, admittedly, I've been very much absent from the Axion ecosystem as a participant over the basically through the bear market. Yeah, I've had some challenges, personal challenges. I lost my father in 2022. Lost my father-in-law 5 weeks later in 2022. Lost my best friend of 13 years in February of this year. So when you fold personal tragedy in with a bear market, becomes a bit of a high mountain to climb. So I've done a lot of, I've had to do a lot of soul searching. I've had to overcome some personal demons, get out of that mental funk. It's so easy to sort of start feeling sorry for yourself, and I'm finally at a point where I'm taking responsibility for my own actions, for where I am in life, and realizing that all these other things that have happened to me over the past couple of years, and that happen to every single person on this planet. We all have our struggles and our triumphs, but that everything that is happening to me is helping to shape me into the person I'm yet to become. And I'm a fighter. I refuse to succumb to the dark side, the negative energy, as hard as it has been over the last couple of years. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. The bull markets. Some say it started. I don't think we're quite there yet. I think
I think it's
early
trying. It's trying to start.
It's trying. I think the initial pump pre-halving was BlackRock ETF related. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming. History rhymes, doesn't necessarily repeat, but the lyrics are all looking pretty similar right now. When you zoom out and you look at Bitcoin, because ultimately BTC controls everything. That's where all the emotion for the entire market stems from. And when you zoom way out on those charts and you look at all of the repetitive patterns that have happened since inception, it's really easy to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And not recognize it as a light of hope, and not the light of the freight train that's
not a
coming at
train
you.
about to hit
Yeah.
you.
So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Axion moving forward. You and I have, quite openly, to be transparent, you and I talk, not, I wouldn't say on a regular basis, but we keep in touch. We've kept in touch over the years, and discuss a lot of things beyond Axion and beyond crypto. And I'm thankful to have that, because I consider you a friend. I consider you a really stand-up guy, somebody who really stepped into a situation that you didn't have to, with regards to Axion, and have been there through all of the ups and downs and the struggles and everything else. Have been there for the community. So you deserve a big round of applause, and I tip the hat to you for sticking it out. And being here now today in this position, as we're about to go through another transition. I think it's a needed transition. I definitely think it's needed. I think the project needs to go somewhere where the activity is a little bit more robust, where the liquidity is a little bit deeper, to allow us to potentially tap into. And obviously cheap fees, Polygon was cheap fees as well, but I think there's better places where the project can thrive moving forward. So what that entails, I don't know. I've got some ideas in my head that I'm willing to throw into the ring, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people in the community that do as well. And now that's sort of like the goal. That's the next hurdle that we need to do, is we need to light a fire under those 10,000 holders, or however many we have overall. My thesis is that because majority of them are staked out their entire bags, if not most of their entire bags, for 15 years, most of them have probably just gone to sleep. And I get it. Crypto's a very distracting environment. We all like to run around chasing shiny objects, and when the luster wears off for something that you were once so passionate about, it's very easy to become distracted and sort of pulled off course by other things. But the code still works. The project has survived since we became Axion, since the staking contracts were launched, since the augmentations that we've been through since then. The code still functions. Stakes still accrue their rate of interest. There's still, albeit the minimal, there's still Bitcoin dividends being produced through the contracts functioning as they were intended to do. Yeah, rewards. Sorry. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of things that can be done moving forward. What those exactly entail, I don't know, but that's the beauty of having a DAO now. That's the beauty of firing up the DAO and making it what it was always intended to be, so that people like me, people like you, people like anybody in the community can make a proposal, put it forward, and it goes through so many processes of DAO votes to get to either being passed or not passed.
Well, and I appreciate your comments. Totally unscripted, everybody, by the way. I mean, I just want that to be clear. We haven't, we were going to postpone this AMA completely. So my mindset was in doing that because we've only had about 29 votes so far, and we haven't had hardly any questions in our AMA thread. But I felt it was important to get this, to keep to this schedule, and because we've got to build some momentum, and at some point we're going to have to all shift our mindset into where we stand with the project and what we're willing to contribute, what we're able to to do to be a part of this, and to that point you were making. That's what I'm working on now, is actually a form that everybody can go in. You can fill out this form, and we can, and you can make suggestions. You can, if you have ideas, or if you have projects that you want us to look at what they're doing. So that's next on the list. And I also appreciated your comments just about that evolution that you've gone through on a personal level. I think it's not, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that pretty much this last 3 to 5 years, especially with the pandemic and everything else, has made this joint experience a little bit more poignant. And so, but your comments about evolving and becoming a maybe a more rounded or solid or compassionate and empathetic human being, it really applies to what we've gone through as a project, because we're coming up on 5 years. And to one person's comments over here in Discord, talking about how much we've seen rollover in the team, up until just this last couple of years. There's a lot of questions as to why, and there's not really any specific answers as to why. It's just how things happen. It's how the world evolves. It's how we learn. It's how we experience things, and then what we do with it and how we apply it. And that's what we're really. Go ahead.
I mean, it's like anytime there's a void, at some point that void's going to get filled. And when that void gets filled, it doesn't mean that it's the right fit for that void. It just means that nature abhors a vacuum. It's like, every time there's a void, something steps in and fills it. And there's, Axion has been through an evolution of that going on. But that's why I made the comments specifically about you. You were somebody that stepped in to fill a void a long time ago, and you're still there. And I know that you could have quite easily just given the salute and the sayonara and said, I don't need any of this anymore. I think my time is spent better elsewhere. And you've done this job, or led this team, or however you want to phrase it, whilst juggling a family and a real a real, like a job, a job, so, it's not easy to do. So your sacrifice does not go unnoticed from me. Your sacrifice does not go unnoticed by me. And because of who I know you are as a person, because of the many, short chin wag 3-hour conversations that we've had over the past several years, I know that you come from a place of honesty, integrity, transparency, and you're a genuine human being. So, I just think if anybody that's listening to this now or is going to watch it later, we should all be grateful that James has stuck with Axion, because without him, who knows where the project would be, if it would still be alive, if it would not. I mean, the code runs, but without somebody putting their face on a stream, on a camera, writing articles, communicating in Discord, yeah, who knows where it
Well,
would be. So.
but that really drives home this whole desire that I have to make this a truly community-led, community-driven, community-engaged project, because I came from the community. I didn't, have all of this experience in DeFi. I have IRL, not ORL experience, but some ORL. And that's also why I made the comments that up until now I've kind of felt like a caretaker. Yes, we've been doing things. We've been actively engaged, trying to build relationships, and really it's that vision, that pure vision that DeFi set out to accomplish many, many, many years ago. Those are the things that I'd like to see actually happen. And I want to see them happen in a way that it truly is beneficial for the community as a whole, and not just a select few. And that's not an easy task. And I'm still on the fence as to whether or not we're going to really be able to do something that's really going to stand the test of time. I'm hopeful. I'm confident I have the skill set. But ultimately I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. So, if I could, it would have been done already. But I appreciate your comments, because I feel the same way about you, man. You have been a muse. You've been a huge support in this process. And just for all transparency, like you were saying, when I first stepped in this is 2 years ago now. Can you believe that? It's been over 2 years. When I first stepped in on the Mastermind Council, or in the Advisory Council, and then kind of came in as an actual core team member, and we did the immutable contract 2 years ago. You were a huge part of my mental process for bouncing things off and actually getting that feedback from someone who really has seen things from the very beginning. And between you and Mike, I haven't spoken to Mike for a while, but hopefully he pays attention and hits me up. But
we ping each other on Discord DMs every once in a while. But yeah, haven't talked to him face to face on camera for a while, but he's still around, and he's a good guy. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He knows crypto, and he's very well connected as well. So time to unwrap Mike. We got to get Mike back in the game.
For sure. I'll hit him up. But yeah, I mean, in those early days, I turned to both of you guys on many occasions to get that feedback, because this isn't Project Metal, it's Axion. So, so real quick, the purpose of us getting together today is really just to highlight the DAO, get people fired up, to help us get the word out, and maybe even get a little more actively engaged on Discord, because here, like I said, I'm pretty sure a week from this Thursday, we're going to have another live stream. I expect by then I'll have a little bit more to showcase as far as this roadmap, what we're going to be voting on, why we're going to be voting on things in this order, how long is this process going to take before we actually start implementing and executing some of these decisions, or some of these changes that the community is voting on. And so that's really what I hope to accomplish today, is just to get people actively engaged in the DAO, getting them back in our Discord, back in the community, and then slowly start helping us push this message out through social media, through our own personal contacts, because I've brought at least a half a dozen or more, probably close to a dozen people into Axion over the last few years. And I know we've all had, people that we've worked with, or people that we shared this with. So we know who we can personally reach out to. And as we start to do that and just say, hey, there are some things happening here. Not sure where it's going to go yet, but you really should check it out. Hop in, hop back in Discord. We've got a DAO vote coming up, some live streams that have already happened, some that are going to happen. We've got articles. We're going to start breaking this information down so we can start really getting people, on the same page as to what this picture is going to look like if we do something as drastic as migrate to another L2 chain, and what that means and how we're going to do it. So we didn't really have a whole lot of questions. I'm going to go over here, I think, real quick. Is that the right one? Yeah. So, I made notes. It was really quick. So, Skater asked why we didn't put the pulse chain on there. We actually had lots of conversations around this. And ultimately, while, most of us on the team, most of us who are, following these things are bullish about Pulse, its current state, its current support system, its current trajectory is really uncertain. We're still, a lot of that's still kind of being defined, and with everything that Richard's going through, I think it's just too soon to have that on the, as one of the things we didn't want to do is dilute the options to the point where, there wasn't really a concise response from the community, which I feel like we've got so far. But it is important. I think it's important to know that, we were going to have that on the vote, but the only reason really we took it off is because there's still a lot of uncertainty around. I think it's going to be viable. I think it's going to grow. I think it's not going to go anywhere, and it's going to be a major player at some point. But for Axion and where we're at, we need a little bit more structure, a little more support, a little more clarity, and what we really need is a lot more activity. So, to answer that question, that's why Pulse wasn't on there. Irma wanted to know what toppings on his garlic bread. So this is the level that we're at right now that we need to move through. But Parmesan.
Yeah, Parmesan. I'd have to go with that. That's a good topping on the garlic bread.
So I don't think we need a vote. MB also asked about, would we be able to go back to where we had more coins, more options, more different coins we can use in the accelerator? It's something we can explore. I think having there's a real a critical reason for why we just have it as USDC. It's just more stable. It's there's less uncertainty, for the fluctuations of token values and everything else. But contractually, when we did the upgrades and we went immutable, it was just way more simpler to have one token. But I mean, we can look at that. When it wouldn't hurt to have 2 or 3 of the solid, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. But that's something we'll look at. Let's see. That was kind of it, except for there are some comments here from Dark Lion, and I pulled these. I can't really read them, but I'm going to answer this. I will answer this in the thread. It's really easy to, from a 30,000 foot level, think that there are easy or simple or obvious answers or things that can be done. But when in reality, when you get on the ground and you're actually facing these things and you're muddling through that mire and you're directly engaged with everything around you, it's not as simple. And just because one project's doing one thing and it seems to be working doesn't mean that that's something we should chase after and do. One of the big comparison is, why are all these meme coins doing so well and Axion is struggling? Well, these meme coins have guys behind it with millions of dollars, in some cases not as much, but who know their exit strategy before they've even launched that coin. And then once they've pulled out of it what they want out of it, and I'm not saying this is every one of them, but there's a freaking lot of meme coins that people don't hear about, and people are throwing stupid money at them. Once they get out of it what they need to get out of it, then they just let it go. They might appear to be working, or they might appear to be trying, but and like I said, I'm not saying that's the case all the time. There are some out there that are thriving or that have a chance, but I just don't subscribe to that mindset anymore. I never really did. I've only purchased, in the history of me being in DeFi, I've only purchased a very small handful of these tokens, and other than Shiba Inu, I don't think any of the other ones are really doing much. But he does ask some more critical questions in here, and I'm going to go ahead and answer those in the thread. And you can go over to our Discord thread. You can check out this question and my response to it later. Like I said earlier, up until now, I've kind of felt like a caretaker of the project, but and I can't put my finger on exactly what has been compelling me this entire time to stay on task and to keep the lights on, to do what I can do with the time I have. It's been a higher priority to me than the time I've spent on it. And that's really what I'm looking to do now, is to kind of shift gears and focus more time on Axion, and hopefully in this process, like you, Big Bear, pull a few people back in that were a part of the project, get them excited about it, and show them some, start to review some of these roadmaps and proposals, and really dial in a future for the project. You and we're going a little longer than I expected, and that's okay. But you, and I hope I didn't lose this thought. You brought up something critical in our last conversation about, so what if we move to base, and then what? What is it going to be about Axion that is actually compelling and seen as attractive by the DeFi community, the meme community, and everything else. And I've shared a little bit of those ideas with you, but ultimately, I'd like to see Axion live up to that, the mantra that we kind of started out with, as a launch pad, as a place to launch a project with like-minded, DeFi enthusiasts. But my ultimate goal, without going for another hour and a half, my ultimate goal is to make participating in launches a process that is accepted by U.S. law. That's the ultimate goal, is to establish a process where we can participate in project launches, we can participate in project funding, and conform to U.S. law.
Right, and some of those ideas you have shared with me, and I'm intrigued to see, where that goes.
Yeah.
So very intrigued to see where that goes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't feel like I'm going to be inventing anything special. Okay. But there are laws within the United States that pave the way for things like this to happen legally. And they're not necessarily so scary and so big that you can't accommodate them. Some of those things are simplistic, and some of them are, require a little legal legwork. But once that's done, it really changes. I do believe it's going to change how we look at doing these, supporting projects. And so that is, I'm looking forward to getting that out. So yeah, I mean, but we're going to do this in steps and stages. We're gonna, like I said, a week from this Thursday, we're going to have another AMA. At that point, we should have a little bit of a clear vision that we can put, on slides and everything that show a little bit of that vision. It will be based on the results of this DAO vote. So, the DAO vote currently is telling us that the majority of those who are still actively engaged in the Axion ecosystem would like to see us move to base. So if that's the decision that's been made, then this roadmap will be as a result of that. Because if they wanted us to stay on Polygon, then we would have to look at a different version of that roadmap. So
yeah, exactly. It's important that anybody, like I said, anybody listening to this now live or watching it as a replay, they need to know that they have a say. It's you have the right to cast your vote. Do it. Then at least you can feel comfortable that you made your voice heard. And whatever the overall majority is, that's the direction the project's going to go. Like in the past, the mantra has always been team led, community driven, and I think now with the idea of turning this entirely to a DAO, the community leads and drives the direction of the project. Obviously, somebody just can't come up with a really bizarre idea and it's not going to get all the way through a DAO vote and be implemented. There will be checks and balances along the way. But ultimately those checks and balances will be governed by the community.
Right. And for transparency, that process will be someone submits a proposal. The team would review it. If it felt like there was merit and there was some positive opportunities that would come from this, then it goes to the mastermind council. Mastermind council looks at it and says, wow, okay, yeah, this actually looks like, you know, this would be something we would want to vote on, and then it would go to the DAO vote. So just so that's just for transparency, that will be a process. So yeah, you're not going to just put a proposal up, some wild, crazy, unprofessional proposal, and then expect people to understand what that means and then vote on it. So we need to have some structure to it, but
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, and I'm even open. Whatever proposals get put on the system will show up. It's just whether they'll actually make it all the way to vote or not is will be up to the the legitimacy of the proposal. So,
yep.
I think I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say, guys. So, I will say this. So, having disclosed that the vote is looking like it wants us to move to base, we are going to be looking into grants. We're going to be looking into potential partnerships, solid partnerships that are on there. We will be improving our social media. We will, and that's going to be and that's not going to happen without the help of our community. We can put out a tweet a day, and it ain't going to matter if no one is out there sharing and engaging and helping put that out there. So that's going to be a critical aspect. We do have a newsletter system. We haven't used it in quite a long time, so we are going to be putting a couple newsletters out, and then of course we're going to have more content out on Medium. I'm going to be participating in more X Spaces, and yeah, so that's the commitment I'm making at this point. So as we start to move forward, as we start to get some momentum behind us, and I'll be honest with you guys, I had to go through more than 2 or 3 processes where I had to sit back and ask myself, are you ready to take on this commitment? Are you ready to actually execute and to help fulfill the voice of the community? And I had to make that commitment to myself first before I even started this latest kind of push. So I think it's important to know that unless someone has a proposal to replace me with someone better, and and I can pass the baton, I'll continue to work for the better interest of the project. And who knows, maybe we'll make DeFi history at some point. So
that would be nice.
It's not a bad goal to have, right? I mean,
no, I personally, as much as we all want to succeed on an individual basis and find that awesome project that gives us an amazing return, it's I would get the greatest joy out of seeing the community as a whole just benefit so much going forward. As they say, when you buy a piece of furniture or you buy a house, it has good bones. Axion has good bones.
I believe that, yeah.
Axion has really good bones. And it's just about finding that spark, that little tweak. I don't think it's going to take much. I really don't, but it's going to take a community effort for sure. You nor me nor any singular person is going to be able to accomplish what needs to be done on their own. It's going to take a village to get this done. And I just hope that, like I said, anybody listening to live or watching the replay, here's the call and comes back into the Discord and says hi. And I'm putting myself on notice for that too. That's something that I need to really do, is I need to step up and become a more of a regular presence in Discord. Even if it's just popping in once a day and saying hi. Um,
Hey,
so
sometimes all I'm good for is a meme.
I mean, yeah. Well, that's kind of this cycle of crypto is I really have taken a step back. Like I said in the beginning, I've been working on myself, trying to get my head right, dealing with some things in the past, preparing myself for what's coming in the future. And, I've admittedly been very, very quiet and just sort of, done augmented my portfolio, massaged it here and there in preparation for what I think is coming. And now I like we said at the beginning, I think the bull's right around the corner, the real bull, like where things are really going to get exciting. So the timing of everything could be absolutely perfect, as far as Axion is concerned.
That is what I am hoping for. That has been a contributor to the motivation I've started to feel. So yeah, with you on that. Appreciate your comments. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, not at all. I can be a rambler, so cut me off anytime you like.
Well, I was laughing because I was reading some of the comments, and it's nice to know that people are actually paying attention and listening to words. But the first one here was from Don Juan, who thought the project was dead. How many times do we hear that a week, right?
Oh,
for
man.
the last 3 years. But
how many times has Bitcoin been dead?
Exactly. Devinder Singh, he captioned what I was trying to say: unburdening the unburdened.
Yes.
Here's a legit question though. How would we migrate? How would the migration be financed? That is an excellent question.
That's a good question.
We're actually going to be submitting some proposals on some ways we can do that. So not prepared to fully dig into that yet, but because that's what's really important to understand as we roll this stuff out. Sometimes how you present your questions and how you put things in context and how you see them building on one another is critical. So we've discussed a few different ways that we can potentially fund this, but it's going to require a community vote. It's going to require the community to get engaged, and hopefully there's not just 29 people making that decision. I think the last I checked it, it's 29. So 29 people so far, and so far the majority of everyone wants us to look at migrating to base. So we will. Those are things that are going to roll out as we move forward.
Last time I checked, there were more than 29 people in the Discord and more than 29 holders on the contract. So.
Yeah, it's like 18,000. But it is. I think it was maybe you I was talking with right before this. We want to capitalize and capture as many people as we humanly possibly can. Ultimately, those that are paying the closest attention to this, the project matters the most to. So it's fair to say that it might be a very small group who have all hung in here. It's not just me who's hung in here this whole time, but it might be this small group who's hung in here this whole time, who really have the voice in what happens moving forward. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I want more people. I want more people to flood in, because that's just ultimately going to solidify that success that we'll have as we move forward. But if it is a small voice that ultimately makes these decisions, I'm okay with that, because those are the people that this project matters most to. So,
well, the driving force will be what it is, no matter how big or how small the movement is. Decisions will be made along the way, and that's just how it's going to be.
Right.
Hopefully more people do become involved. because the more people that do become involved, the greater the, you get the network effect starts kicking in. Everybody talks to somebody who talks to somebody who talks to somebody who talks to somebody, right. and the potential is pretty great when you look at it that way. But if they don't, they don't. But hopefully the community does start to wake up. And that's just everybody posting the Medium article on your socials, reposting this live stream on your socials, waiting a couple of days and reposting it again. Like the thing is, people need to see something 7 times before they actually pay attention to it. Well,
yeah,
try that.
I got a couple. Well, so we might hit our 1 hour mark. I hope your phone isn't burning up, smoking in the car there.
No, I got it on the charger on the dash here. So it's, but it's not gaining much battery because I'm on, I'm streaming here. So it's been stuck at about 64% for the last 40 minutes.
Wow. So there is a couple more I'm going to address here real quick, and then we'll probably go ahead and wrap this up. And with my sincere appreciation for joining me on this, really made a big difference just to help, just so it wasn't just a one-sided conversation. That's really what I don't want. So I appreciate that.
Hey, everybody deserves a wingman. No worries.
Well, I could never have hoped for a better one, man. I appreciate you. So Jeff is asking, will the BTC rewards exist in the future after Accelerator? So with us looking at your comment right before that, with us looking at this migration and moving everything to base, I think it's fair to say that there's not going to be one aspect of the process that isn't up for community participant as far as voting, proposal, suggestion. So I don't have an answer to that because this is something that's going to be decided by the community as we move forward. Thanks for your vote, Jeff. Did it go up to 30? No, he's one of those. Okay, there was one more. So I am going to put this up here, and if you have anything to throw in, Big Bear, please feel free. So I've had it said that the some of our partnerships were not well thought out, and that's really not the case. And even with Sure Yield, where there's some uncertainty as to what happened, what I do know is they didn't rug the project. They launched when they thought the market was going to be going up, and that the IL would be mitigated,
minimal, yeah.
And they didn't. The market didn't go up. And IL, I'm going to mess up. IL messed up. I mean, I participated in V1. I did okay. I participated in V2. I saw what the market was doing, and I pulled out because of what the market was doing, not because of what I felt about them or the project. But to my knowledge, not one person has been unable to withdraw their funds from those contracts. In fact, we had one person in Discord who had not pulled their funds. I messaged him in Discord, in public, if he knew how to interact directly with the contract, he might be able to withdraw his stake. And he came back about, 3-4 hours later, and he was able to do that. So for a minute, I'm sorry, guys. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel like there was some nefarious behavior, and I don't know what's happened to Pete C. I do know what happened to Dead Poet. He was devastated. But we don't know what happened to Pete C. But what we do know is he did not drain he didn't drain anybody's accounts. When we partner with when we partner with people, there's a lot of different things we take into consideration, but there are also so many unknowns that, you know, we can't, we'll never have another partnership if all we're worried about is, you know, them doing something nefarious. It's important to protect ourselves. It's important to build responsibly, but we can't let those factors be the deciding factor. So I was disappointed to see what happened with Sure.Yield, but I don't think there was anything nefarious that was happening. I don't think there was anything intentional that happened there.
Hey, James, can you hear me okay still?
Yeah, it's a little weird, but yeah.
Sorry, my truck shut off. It just shuts off, and when I restarted it, it kicked my AirPods off. So I'm on the car speaker now. No, I'll just say, with regards to Sure.Yield, it was, you know, when I first heard about the project, I was intrigued and excited about the possibilities of what it could be. Simply because I'm an LP guy. I like to you know, park my money in liquidity pools and earn fees, and so I had high hopes for it, and I was very positive about it in the Axion Discord and on social media. You know, I had the opportunity to talk with the team, and they ran me through some of the stuff, and I was like, okay, all right, sounds good. Everything looked fine. Love the UI. You know, I think they built a really good UI. The simplicity of how the system worked made sense. I didn't find it too overwhelming. And like you, I participated in V1. And they rolled over to V2. I did find V1 was a little bit more stable as far as impermanent loss was concerned. V2 wasn't working out that great. And ultimately, I have my own ideas as to why the project didn't work out, and it had nothing to do with the team being nefarious or you know, wanting to rug pull anything. It was just a simple matter of the way that the AI was inserting liquidity and pulling liquidity and inserting liquidity and pulling liquidity. The market was not favorable for that type of a setup.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever happened down the road, I mean, I pulled my money out when I personally got uncomfortable with how everything was working. It wasn't that I thought that they were going to disappear. It wasn't that I thought their project was, you know, that their code was crap. I just felt like it needed some tweaking, and until those issues that I could define were fixed, I was going to keep my money on the sidelines. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you know, like you said, we you know, when I say we, I'm talking about every project in crypto that ever tries to do any sort of a partnership or an alliance. You try and vet the team, the code, the concept to the best of your abilities. And sometimes it's going to work out okay, and most of the time it's not. And that's just the fact of life. That's just business, in real life business. I mean, most things don't work out. But the ones that do are fantastic. And so yeah, is it unfortunate that what happened to Sure.Yield? Yeah, it's unfortunate. But you know, that shouldn't deter you or anybody else on Mastermind or anybody else that's involved in the team to shy away from pursuing future endeavors. Because if you know, the only thing that's constant in life is change, and when you're through changing, well, you're through. So, you know, we just got to keep forging ahead, and everything's based on best guess, best due diligence, and the best vetting that you can possibly be. And because there was some history with the founders of Sure.Yield and the people that were involved, it felt safe. It felt like a safe play. So yeah. I you know, the people that have been the loudest in the community about what happened with Sure.Yield, you know, we all got to wear our big boy pants. This is crypto, folks. This is still the wild, wild west. This is still a very unregulated industry, and we're all doing our best to protect ourselves personally. And James and company are doing their best to protect the community as best they can, while at the same time providing opportunity along the way. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's a fact. It's just a fact of life. But yeah, don't let it deter you, James. It's
No. Oh no.
shit happens.
I'm good. I'm good. In fact, what I was going to say though is, had we had our DAO set up to the level we have it now, had we had this mindset, that would have gone to a fuller vote. There are some partnerships we might work on that are obviously very strong, very good fits for what we're going to be doing, where the team can, initiate the relationship, but we'll probably always have it ratified by the community. And then there might be some partnerships that we put up for vote from the very beginning when it comes to some of these things. So we'll be very pragmatic, and we'll be very, we'll operate on a professional level. So, but yeah, we can't let, the disappointments of previous experiences keep us from moving forward and finding that voice that Axion can really shine when it comes to, DeFi and part, just all the things we might be able to do in tandem with the Axion brand, if you will. So I don't know. Feel good?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's all good.
I lean forward.
I said I'm fine with it. It's all good.
There you go. All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna let you get back into your house.
No, I don't want to go back in the house. It's too hot in there.
That's right. You don't have air conditioning in the house right now, huh?
No, not for another 3.5 hours.
It's time to go to the pool.
Well, even that's like, the pool's probably like 85 degrees. It's not much relief, trust me.
Swimming in sweat.
Yeah, basically.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for joining me. Everybody, the links to everything is in the description, the details of this video. So please help us get the word out. And let's circle back. We'll be back with another live stream a week from Thursday. So
cool. Well, thanks for having me on. And yeah, I just look forward to seeing how things progress from here, and waking up this community, and make Axion great again.
All right, bud. Hey, thanks a lot, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, all right. Everybody have a great day. Cheers.
Cheers.